Okay, Phil. Wow. All right. It's not quite tomorrow yet, but yeah, that's an episode, isn't it? It's a movie in itself, and it's really laid out for you. It's really rather simple. So you went on an adventure, and it's not like what you would normally go on or think it should be, etc. You did. Got on the airplane flight, etc. So you flew somewhere else, somewhere outside of what you know. You see, this is where you start to go beyond yourself. And there was a pilot on that plane, and of course, it was one of the real guys. But of course, you didn't see him or recognize him. It's not necessary at this time, but you're willing to take the ride. And so you're going to New Zealand. Okay, someplace new. And Zealand, okay, well, it's all down under, like Australia is called down under. And basically that's where we are. You're still in creation, so you're really down under. You might say there is no up or down, but it's just a term for our literal part. And the word zeal, okay, and what does the word zeal mean? Do you know what that word means? Just the word zeal.
No, I do not.
You should look it up. It means something like enthusiasm or whatever. In other words, you're charged or what have you. And that's okay, but that's the idea. So it could have been anywhere, but on this trip, it was to New Zealand. Now, you've got this car, all right, all of a sudden it's there. Rental car or whatever, okay, which makes sense. It's not your car, it's something you're using, you're renting, because doing the new you paid for the rental by doing that, and you're going down this smooth road, and while you're going down this smooth road, you see these other roads kind of parallel to you, which are kind of bumpy, or there's miles of dirt there, or however you see it. And those are like, this is not a path. It's more like an avenue or a road or a course, okay? And so you're on the smooth course. And those other paths are the bumpy ones, okay? Hard to get around, things happen, problems, etc. Because the road isn't smooth, your car breaks down, etc. Those are the other paths like religion and spiritual stuff and all that, okay? Those are the other paths that, most of the time people take because, and it's just like the off-roaders, and it's about off-road too. And the reason that the roads are dirt is because it's all natural, you see? Asphalt roads are not natural, they're literal. Okay, that's the literal society. The literal controllers, they pave everything. It's all concrete, pavement, buildings, glass, steel, whatever. That's not the natural environment. It's from the environment that's been reformed. And so also you see all these people staring at you. Well, it's not so much the funny beard on the car, because as you notice, remember in some of your experiences, you have this old man that is there all the time. And what do beards like that represent? The old man. So again, somebody old that's grown a beard. When you get older, you get, you get kind of lazy and you don't want to shave anymore, so you grow a beard, etc. And that's just how it is. A lot of people do that. Not everybody does, but it's kind of the idea. Okay, and it's from the old worlds too, where a lot of people had beards and whatever. And so there's the beard dragging along. Now the beard is a reminder. It's kind of a joke, but what the fella said to you, well, it's really not that. It's just that in a way it is. But it's kind of a reminder, and that is that, if you give up the adventure, you're just going to grow old. That's it, and you're just going to drag that along. But right now you're dragging it along simply because you're dragging the old stuff along because that's what you're doing. You're not aware of everything that you're dragging along, you see? And it's interesting that he calls it the new land, etc. So this is somebody that you know and have met on the real side many years ago, according to time. Now you're just becoming aware of it. And the people that have no faces, they have faces. It's just that you don't recognize them. So they become faceless. And so it's just like when you're out there in the public, walking up and down the street, you see people, you see their faces, but you don't recognize them. So they may as well be faceless, you see? But then all of a sudden in the crowd, you recognize one of your friends. You go, oh, that's, that's Susie or that's Billy. You see, you recognize them. Everybody else, you don't. They're like faceless people, you see? That's why it's like that on the real side, because you don't know them, you don't recognize them. And this is how it is, too, at first with the real guides. And that is, you don't see them as they are. A lot of people want to, but not always, is because you don't recognize them. So they will appear as somebody else. There's a really good movie to see that will show you this with Robin Williams. He's no longer around, but he was a famous star. He had a TV show called Mork and Mindy in the 90s, which was very popular, and Robin Williams was a funny guy. But he made a movie called, what is it, Your Dreams? What is it? Oh, geez, all of a sudden I'm blank here. It's Something Your Dreams, okay? Boy, that's funny. You know, the memory on this body is kind of caving in sometimes. It's not Field of Dreams. That was Kevin Costner. That's about baseball. But this was with Robin Williams. Oh, What Dreams May Come is the name of the movie. You want to see that movie. What Dreams May Come. Very, very good.
Yes. Yeah, I have seen that. That is a fantastic movie.
Yeah. And it tells a lot. Now, what happened is that he went into the astral world. And his son there, he didn't recognize because he was more interested in his friend who was black, and that's why he showed up like that. And so it's very, very good. It's showing a lot of stuff there that people do not recognize. And I remember when I first saw it, and as I was leaving the theater, I heard some woman say, boy, I didn't understand that movie at all. Well, I understood it right away. And so again, most people won't. They'll just think, oh, it's a fantasy movie, whatever. No, it's not. It's showing you exactly what's going on in the astral world, which is just right beside the physical realm here. And this is where a lot of people pass on. Now, it can be like that. It can be a lot of different things. It just depends upon the individual, you see? But that movie is very, very good. And I can give you a lot of other ones too, but as they come up here and we talk about them, but that's a very, very good one, showing you the synopsis there. Now, your friend may have appeared as he is, or he may have appeared as somebody else. It just depends upon the relationship and what you need to learn, etc. But you took a trip somewhere else, okay? And then, you know, it's almost like maybe you don't recognize it now, but someday you will. You will realize what that experience means as you grow into it and become more aware. You'll learn to see it. And it's just like when we were children. We had a lot of experience with our parents, but most of us, we didn't understand what it was. We saw it, we were there, but we didn't understand it. And our attention was off, you know, wanting to play with other kids or do other things. But we were having a lot of experience and they were trying to explain things to us. But again, we didn't understand. But as we grew up and look back, little by little, you start to understand, you see? And so now you have the real guidance. You're on the smooth road. Things have been smoothed out for you, okay, to have this experience. Things have been prepared for you to have this experience. You know, what's funny is that down here in Mexico, you know, the streets and that are paved and whatever, but where we go into the farmland to our house for about half a kilometer, we got a zigzag on these dirt roads, and they're kind of bumpy or whatever, etc. Now, when you look in the cowboy movies, and they're on the buckboards, and of course they're on dirt, they're going on dirt, you notice that it's all so smooth. That's because those roads, as they're filming all of that, were already paved really smooth, so they didn't have to go over all the bumps and that. It was all prepared for them. Just look at any cowboy movie and see how it is. Unless they're really out there on the trail, then it gets to be different. But so much of the time, you'll notice that the road is very smooth. That's because they plowed it before they filmed it, you see? And so just like this, they prepared the road for you, and they're showing you the other paths, the other so-called natural paths are very bumpy. And you have a lot of problems. So you'd have a lot of problems driving your car over those roads, and you probably wouldn't make it. Hit the oil pan, bust the oil pan, whatever, ruin the axle, etc. But the road had been smoothed out for you to have this experience, you see? And everybody looking at you, in a way, yeah, some of them are surprised that you got this far, that you made it, and that you know the way to go, because this way is exceptional. Very, very exceptional, and very few get to find it. You'll notice that there aren't too many other people in the world that know about this. And as you compare and as you learn things, you'll see that there's nothing like it, and the rest of the world is not aware enough to know about what we're doing with the real guides and the real universes, has no idea, not at all. I don't care how spiritual they are, what master they are, whatever, they don't know. So, your experience was very, very good. You were safe all the way. You came back. And so you decide what you will recognize from it. You see? It's like you decide your homework, to figure it out, to investigate, or to see whatever, and to ponder that. But you had an extraordinary experience, like Eric here. The kids are having great experiences. They seem very simple and kind of strange, but whatever. No, this world is strange. You're living on a purposely poisoned planet, and there are so many that want to destroy you and everybody. Does that make sense? No, it's nuts. But this is where you live, and it's very real. So you decide if you want to keep going and become more aware, or stay here and grow old and come back in future lifetimes where it gets a lot worse. This is nothing compared to what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm. I found it interesting that it seemed like it was referring to past lives. Is that something that's common?
Too. Yeah, the picture. Sorry, I forgot about the picture. And yes, when you look at a picture, like in someone's house, a picture of, you know, if it's a photograph or a painting or whatever, isn't it always something about the past? Of course it is. Even if they just painted it, it's usually something about the past. And so again, just like they said, this picture was made for you. In other words, it was your time to know and to see this. So it took a lot of lifetimes for you to come to the point to be able to see that. So I would ponder that picture, and as time goes on, you will have more and more recognition of what that is, you see?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and it vibrates with you. Okay, there you go. It vibrates with you. That's why you vibrate it, because it vibrates with you. What's the saying when your friend sees you meet a girl? Oh, you two vibrate together, right?
Yeah, yeah. You had that vibe.
You have that vibe. You guys vibe together, whatever. See, again, it goes on old sayings. There it is, just like the other one. Remember the other one, the grass? As free as the grass grows? Well, see, here's the idea of that one, too. You got a little hole in the road. But what you don't realize, it's the little things that are the big problem or the big disturbance. And so you have help there. Even though it looks little, it looks like a little thing, it can, if it blocks your whole life, it ain't a little thing, is it? Even though it looks, it's just like a discussion you have with somebody, and it can be just a little misunderstanding, but all of a sudden it changes your whole life, and it was nothing, but it changed your whole life, you see? Yeah. So, yeah, you're having the experiences. They're very good. And it's up to you kids to keep deciding, because there's more. There's so much more you can't even imagine. You couldn't even anyway imagine or consider what's coming up for you as you keep going.
Well, thank you, Duane. I appreciate your time.
No, I like hearing it. I have fun with this because, again, as it's recorded and I get to see what you're doing and describe it, well, others will hear it and it will help them, and that's so cool. So again, we're all in the same life. We're all here to help each other, and everybody has their own viewpoint, and each one of us is very, very unique and important and precious. That's real, like the sun shining. That's all of us, yeah. And we are each a unique, wonderful viewpoint, and very necessary. Yeah, as we wake up and get past all the duh that we're in here. So much better.